So, Marco, do you think we're ready, or should we give late attendees a minute?
No, I think we are more or less ready. Let's be like 3D survey, most accurate way as possible. So as already mentioned, we will have a recording of this webinar. So if someone missed something, he can always see the recording, not a problem. So
Yeah,
let's start officially, Matija.
Okay, thank you, Marco, for this intro. Well, I probably don't have to say it again, but anyways, today is all about 3Dsurvey Cloud, the project management tool and the sharing platform that is integrated into 3Dsurvey. Now let's see a bit more in detail how that works. So we'll start off just a second. So why did we develop this cloud in the first place? Because of the problem of sharing. By now, you're probably all very much familiar with the concept of photogrammetry, and you're probably working in this field. But very often, clients and clients of our users were not so familiar with the technology, and what's even more problematic, they weren't able to see the results as good as you on your computer using 3Dsurvey desktop application. So in order to share that, you had to rely on third-party apps, transfer large data, or simplify your data. If you had a stunning 3D model and you could only share, for example, an orthophoto of it, doesn't really deliver everything that 3Dsurvey has to offer. So we wanted to deliver something to our users to enable them to show all the potential that 3Dsurvey has to their end clients. And that's why we developed 3Dsurvey Cloud, which is integrated inside desktop app. It's easy to use. You can upload with few clicks, and sharing, viewing, and inspecting the 3D model is even easier. The main advantage, I would say, is that your end client doesn't need a powerful computer. He can use any computer. It can be also Mac, or he can use, well, a phone or a tablet. They don't need to know much about photogrammetry, and they don't need no introduction to 3Dsurvey Cloud. It's very intuitive. You just open it up, inspect the model, see it for yourself. And another problem that was solved is regarding third-party apps. You had some solutions on the market, but the free ones would always compromise on quality or the amount of data you can upload. So we give you free with a valid plan 75 gigabytes of storage, which is enough for any big project. Well, we can challenge you to upload something that doesn't go through, but maybe that's a topic for another another time. Marco, did I forget any of our?
No, I think you mentioned really nicely everything. I would just emphasize again. So remember, you're working with thousands of images in some cases. Based on statistic, we see that most customers are processing between 200 to 500 images. So this means that the project size at the end is about 5 to 10 gigabyte, okay? Just the results are, let's say, point cloud, it's 2 giga, the orthophoto is 500 mega, and textured full 3D mesh is quickly also 1 giga. So we have approximately 2 to 5 giga of results which you need to share. The traditional way before, you know how we did it, so with the help of Google Drive, WeTransfer or something like that. We will talk this also in our second part of this webinar. but it was hard. And also, when you share these files, these customers, so your customers needs to have a powerful computer, which costs like $1,000, 1,000 euros, something like that, or more, with a good graphic cards. And nevertheless, in addition, he need also a software where he can open those data, those results, to observe it and inspect it. And again, this software was usually probably 3Dsurvey trial, or in past we have a viewer license. But nevertheless, if he was not so technically equipped, he need to know how it works. So if you're working on daily base with 3Dsurvey, you know all tips and tricks. If you first time start working with, it's maybe harder for him. And that's why we are super proud, super happy to start with 3Dsurvey Cloud, which is a super easy to use platform for sharing these results. You don't need some special computer. You can observe the results on your phone. You can observe it on your tablet, on your Mac computer, on your Windows platform, anything like that. So it's just so easy and so effective. So yeah, thank you.
Okay. I think now it's a good time to give a word also to you attendees. We have put together a short poll to know a little more about how familiar you already may be with our cloud. So the first one should be appearing now on the on your screen.
Okay, we can see it, yes.
Okay, so the question is simple. Have you already used 3Dsurvey Cloud? If no, you have also additional options.
Okay, feel free to select your answers. So we'll wait a couple of seconds. Then
Yeah, the answers are
Matija.
coming in.
Okay, very good.
Yes, 77% of you already voted. Let's give it a bit more. Okay, 81, 84, and just a second. Last chance. It's closed. I can also share the results with you. So here they are. 36% of you are already cloud users. Well, welcome. And 42 not. So, okay, I hope we convince you with this webinar. And we have 17% of people who are not yet 3Dsurvey users. Especially welcome to you. We hope you will get all the info you wish to get from this webinar, and that it convince you to start using 3Dsurvey. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So this one is more for the people who answered yes on the previous one. So how many projects have you uploaded? We have 3 brackets here, 1 to 5, 5 to 10, and more than 10.
Okay, for just to remind you maybe, so we start with 3Dsurvey Cloud with our previous version, which was released in November 2023. So currently the cloud beta version is a bit around 4 months, 4 months available. So we have quite a lot of feedback already, and we are more and more convinced that this is the right decision, and we are working continuously on development to make it even better. So yes, in this meantime, a lot of customers already tested. Check it out and let's see, yes, the result of this one.
The result, well, most of the people uploaded between 1 and 5 projects, but we have 15% of those who uploaded between 5 and 10, and 15% more than 10. The last figure is a bit surprising to me. I am very happy to see that we have such avid users among us that really empower the full potential of 3Dsurvey Cloud.
Okay, very good. Very good, interesting. So let's go to our next question.
We have two more for this section. So this one is a bit not tricky, but advanced. So have you added multiple surveys to your projects? Perhaps not everybody is familiar with this option. You can upload more surveys under a single project, which means that if you're doing some monitoring of the same site, you can return to it multiple times, and every time save your recordings to the cloud, which and then you can compare it, which we'll see in the following webinar. Okay, so let me share the result. 37% of you have uploaded multiple surveys to the project, and 63 not yet. Go for it.
Very interesting. So when we designed the basic for the cloud sharing platform, so we design it in mentality that the main is the project and every project can have more surveys. So if you go first time on a field, do the basic measurement, you can upload these results into the cloud. And let's say 1 month later, when they grab some material away, you go again and do the measurement, your second survey, and you can actually upload it to the same project that you have everything nice organized under the single project. So yes, this is the idea.
Okay, and the final question for this section will be, have you experienced any troubles in using 3Dsurvey Cloud? Remember, it's still in beta, so this stuff is not to be expected, but it's hard to avoid it. And you have possibilities detailed explained in the yes section of the answers. We gave you some of the most common options that we also experienced.
Also based over the feedback from already existing users. We have also a nice option. You have also nice option to share your opinion directly from the cloud page. So there is a button, share your experience, or give feedback. Actually, you can click on it, write your opinion. I'm super satisfied, or I don't know, it's loading slowly, or something like that. We're collecting all this information in one basket, and we are trying then to improve those things step by step. Okay.
Okay. So almost half of you voted, so that's quite good because not all of you are the users. So
exactly.
okay, let's see the results. So it's nice to see that the majority of you didn't have any problems with it. That's very good news for us. And then on the second place is the 28% issue with slow rendering. We are aware of this one. We are looking into this one. More on that later, perhaps. But it happens when you upload large models, large data sets.
Especially models with texture, for example.
And it also depends on your internet speed. So it's not 100% of our fault, maybe. Okay.
What I would, Matija, also like to add in this part is just to understand it. So if you were conscious about the previous slides, we mentioned minimum downsampling or minimum reduction on quality. So when you upload 3D models in 3Dsurvey Cloud, so we give the full power of this module, not like in comparison with Sketchfab, where you're limited to 200 mega of texture 3D models. So we take the complete model, we do some simplification, but really minimum to optimize it for the viewer side. And that's why the models are much bigger. And then if you need to present them in a decent way, you need a better internet connection, of course. But nevertheless, you can always downgrade the models before you upload them in cloud. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so perhaps those who have the more technical issues, feel free to use that send feedback button or write us a comment below. Okay, thank you very much for those answers. They are really helping us develop better product in the end. And this is really important to us because, yeah, happy customer is a good customer. Okay, now we can return to our webinar and perhaps let's see the cloud in action. There it is. Okay, so now I would like to present to you how the cloud looks. This is especially vital for you of those who are not using it yet. When you go to your home screen, it will look like this. These are your projects, and if you want, you can create new project here or select one of them to view. Perhaps, Marko, you could share one of these with our users in the chat so they can also open it.
Okay. If you have time during the presentation, you can find in chat box already some link which is open to you, so shareable link. You can click in the meantime with your phone or tablet on this link and observe the model. So what's important to know, if you would like to rotate the model, use a single finger. If you would like to zoom it, just zoom it with 2 fingers. If you like to pan the model, use 3 models if you have a touch screen. Otherwise, you can do the navigation with the mouse button, with your mouse, okay? And the link is already in chat, so feel free to check it out.
Okay, and to give you some more tour about it, you can, when you're in home screen, you can check out the map view also, which gives you the ability to see where your projects are on the map. Mine are obviously more or less in Slovenia. So here they are. And another way to do the project management is to view them on the timeline, which is perhaps even more convenient for your like bookkeeping of your projects done in through time. So like this. And if we have a project that is that has multiple stages, it will span out like this. That is also interesting. And if you want to inspect the project, you can simply click on it and it will start loading. Okay, I just wanted to give you a quick overview how our cloud navigates. And now what I think is even more important, let's take a step back and go to 3Dsurvey. Are we ready? So I have a very simple project here. I scanned this road from this start to this roundabout and did some vectorization in CAD. I have produced the point cloud, obviously, classified it, and I have produced DSM, full 3D mesh, and orthophoto. 2 of them actually, to compare the traditional and the true one. And now what I would like to do is upload this to the cloud. I simply go here to project and then cloud upload. You see, it's right under here, save and batch processing, cloud upload. And this window pops up. It gives me the overview of all the data I have in here. So I can only upload the orthophoto if I want, but that's not what I want. So I'll upload CAD data, point cloud. I will upload DSM. I don't need the full 3D model, and I will upload both of my orthophotos. I go next, and here is the authentication test. So it logs in the background. And now, considering this is a new project, I will just create new project.
I would just stop here for a second, Matija, because this is super nice.
Yeah.
So actually, when you're in 3Dsurvey, we know your license and we can directly connect you with the right cloud account. So you don't even need to know the right email or the right password you are using for the login. Okay, so you're directly logged in as far you're using the same license code. So then if you need to change the license code or something like that, you can always find these informations in a 3Dsurvey account and so on. But as you already saw it, so by default, it's very smooth. You just cloud upload and that's it. And you're already logged in. And now we are already in browser. So yeah, Matija, thank you.
Exactly. Thank you, Marko. Okay, I will create a new project, and this will be my road test. If your project has the coordinate system set up in here, like the project coordinate system, it will be automatically copied here. So you don't need to worry about that either. But if you're doing some laser scans, let's say, you can position them, your project, with the help of this map, and move this to a location. For example, if you did the pyramids, place it here and click create. But now I will close this. Because I have my coordinate system set, the location of my project will be exact. It will fall into place where it needs to. And so I will just click create. Okay, so then you select the date of your survey and give it a description. So this is like webinar live test, create. And we're already in the upload process page. You can see the CAD data was very swiftly to upload because there's not much of it. Then it went to point cloud, and it will continue with mesh, orthophoto, and another orthophoto. Depending on your internet speed, this will take up to a few minutes. But to see something a bit more exciting than these green lines, we'll jump right back into our presentation while this loads. Yep, yeah, here we are. Okay, let's give it a few minutes to load up and we'll check on it later. Now, what we would like to go quickly over is some frequently asked questions. So prerequisites, who is eligible for the 3Dsurvey cloud? Every user with perpetual license with active support and every user with subscription license is eligible for 3Dsurvey cloud. That means they get 75 gigabytes of storage and they can use it as we just showed. So the basic plan, as I mentioned, includes unlimited number of projects. You are only limited by this number up here. So you're not limited also with the survey numbers. In any project, you can add as many surveys as you want. This is really convenient if you have a long-lasting project of monitoring something. As I mentioned, the only limit so far is 75 gigabytes of storage. We plan to give you some options to upgrade here. We're not quite there, but they'll be available soon. So to quickly give you the overview of what you can upload. When you're in 3Dsurvey, as I just demonstrated, you can upload anything. You don't need to worry in which format your data is. Even if you imported a point cloud from something XYZ, PLY, anything, 3Dsurvey will automatically convert it into what it knows, what the cloud accepts. This is LAS or LAS file. But we also have the option for you to upload via browser. We'll demonstrate this a bit later. Just so you know, if you want to save your project, export your products, and then upload them later, you have this option.
Perfect, Matija. I would stop here for the second time. So first thing, so this is what I would like to emphasize here, this seamless integration with the desktop softwares. Okay, so first thing, we can read all the license code and connect directly with your account. So no break stopper when you are signing into the cloud account. Okay, and here we see the second part. It's seamlessly integrated with uploading your results into cloud, so you don't need to care about the file formats, what's possible, what's not possible, and so on. As soon you upload your results directly from 3Dsurvey, should work seamlessly. Okay, you just select from the list, upload 2 orthophotos, 3 point clouds, 5 textured meshes or regular grid mesh, and that's it. Okay, so we take care about the file formats and on conversation and so on. So super easy, super elegant.
Yeah, thank you, Marko. And now let's see if our project has done uploading. It's done. So we can check it out, or we can see a bit more of the presentation. Marko, which way would you like to go?
I think we can continue with Cloud, yes, and come back then to PowerPoint. So let's go this way.
Let's go directly here.
So you just click on Finish button and you are in browser, or how?
Yeah, you just click on Finish and it takes you to the uploaded project. If you do it the second it finishes, you may need to wait a few more seconds for it to process the data, but now it's obviously already done. So this is a point cloud where it gives you the first view. So if you upload point cloud, you will always end up here first, and it loads progressively. See here. And if I zoom in, it will load additionally. The points get smaller and smaller. So that's how we conserve the internet traffic also, for you to not, stop the bandwidth. And okay, let me give you a short demonstration of what we have here. As I mentioned, we're in the point cloud currently. And now if we want to see the mesh, we'll turn off these and go to mesh and turn on the mesh with the eye icon. And we can see our mesh got imported really nice. And there is a little, whoops. Okay, so
good,
this is the
good option to show zoom extend function maybe.
Okay, let's
Does
see
it
the zoom
help
extend.
you? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So because this icon is hidden, so nice
Yeah.
trick, Matija. Okay, nice trick.
Thank you. Yeah, maybe if it didn't get out of the frame, I would forgot to show that one. Okay, now let's see what we have in CAD. All my layers that I have generated in 3Dsurvey made it through, so I can also close them here, make them invisible if I want, turn them on and off. And if I want to see the coordinates, I can just hover over and it gives it like that. I can add annotations. For example, if I want to give you the, if I want to give a comment somewhere, let's say here, whoops, here.
Yeah, you can also pen the annotation.
Yeah. Like this. Okay. And we have made we can also choose a color. like that. And if we want, we can do a screenshot out of it. It will give us the option to save it on our PC, just like that. And I can also go over the CAD functionalities, but perhaps maybe I'll show you the video of it, so you can have a can also see another model on that. But the most important thing we want to give you with this cloud is the share option. So it's really simple. If you didn't get it, here is the share button, and I can simply select the option anyone with the link can view it. And if I copy this link, I can also paste it in the chat.
Okay, let's do that. Then we have already 2 models, so we can check
and
it
you
out.
can also check this one. And while you're checking this one, I can show you the video presenting you the CAD capabilities. Just a second.
Okay, I can just confirm it that I can see the model in chat. And if I click on it, so uploading the results, yes, I can already see your point cloud in my 3Dsurvey cloud. Works nice, everything. So
Great.
you can switch also between 2D and 3D. So maybe we forgot to mention this one. So if you have an orthophoto, there is a button in the middle, so 2D, 3D. So this is switch between orthophoto and your point cloud or textured 3D mesh. Okay.
Yeah, like that. I have uploaded 2 of them to compare the traditional one and the true one. So the lower one is visible. If I turn off the traditional one, I can see the true orthophoto gave me much better result because it deleted the cars, moving objects from
very good
image.
Very good. Now we already see the next example here, Matija.
Yeah.
From the video.
Okay, let me just start it. So I hope you all see this video. This video is also available on YouTube for you. You can go check it and revise your knowledge. So left click is to place a point and also start a polyline, and right click is to finish it. And if we want to do some sort of measurement, we also have this height tool. Same thing, left click to start it, right click to finish it. We did 2 of those here, and you can also select what measurement the line will represent. We have a couple of options. We have 3D measurement and height measurement. Next tool is polygon tool, which means it will create an area measurement for you. That was a quick example of a window, but we can also do a more complex polygons like this entire roof. You can pan around the cloud using left mouse button, hold it down and rotate your screen. And this is now finishing with the large area. Confirm it with right mouse button and you get the result immediately. So this is about CAD functionalities, and the last one I also mentioned is annotation, which gives you a option to comment stuff on the on your model. Okay, now let's close this video. Okay. Like that.
Very good.
Okay. So now should we continue with the presentation? Okay. So just to revise, these are the CAD functionalities. And nope, thank you. We already saw that. So we, as I forgot to mention, we also import layers and styles of the layers. As you've seen on the road example, my layers were of the same color as in 3Dsurvey. And another functionality that is very nice is side-by-side comparison. So you can do different surveys and then compare them between each other. And I think Marko has a really nice example of this one. You can compare point cloud, meshes, and orthophotos. So Marko, do you want to take over this one?
Yes, I can do that. So let me just share your screen with me. Just a second. So Marko, okay. Just please confirm it if you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, very good. So again, as Matija already shows you before, right now I'm in a project preview. I'm just looking for the right one. So
I
the
got you by
ones,
surprise.
yeah. So let's see. Okay, so looks like the GoToWebinar platform took the whole power of my browser away. So let me just go with the new one.
Do you need some more time?
Okay, please, Matija, help me out. I will just refresh my browser because everything stops working right now on my side, and I'm back in minute. Okay.
Okay, take your time.
Okay. Yes.
So I think we're back on my screen now. Yeah. Yeah. As I mentioned, you have side-by-side comparison that works in this way that you can slide the view left and right to compare two stages of, let's say, a project. You can do this also on meshes, and there's a hidden feature here. If you upload DSM, so surface models, you can render them in this style that you see on the left side. You can see that it's really polished, and some people prefer it that way because it sometimes color is a distracting factor. So if you just upload DSM without the orthophoto draped on it, you will get this result. And this right one has the orthophoto draped on it. So if you prefer color, you can upload this one. And as I mentioned, orthophoto also works the same way. It's just a locked in top-down view. And another thing is you're not limited to. Oh, Marko, welcome back.
Yes, welcome back. So I'm back. The whole browser was freeze for a minute, so I need to restart, leave the webinar. So I'm back. If you're ready, I can share now my screen with you.
Yeah, I think it would be best to see it in live action.
Okay, very good. So tell me please again.
Yeah, we're with you.
If you're with me, so here is my project. I would like to share it with you. Okay, it's just a small example. So one project, we have two sites here. We have 3D data. This is my point cloud. If I turn off my point cloud and move to mesh tab, as you can see, those data types here are similar organized than in a 3Dsurvey. So you switch between them. You can have more open them at the same time, or you can just turn them off like here. And if I go to mesh, This is my regular grid mesh in some kind of latex preview, so you can see the surface really nicely with this feature. So, and we also have a full 3D mesh with texture here. This is my area of interest, and I can switch also between 3D and 2D. When I go to 2D, you see the orthophoto actually. And if I click here on the map, you can see the different layers. So you see everything, it's also geolocated on the right location on the Google map and everything like that, okay? And what I would like to show you in this example, as Matija already mentioned, if I click this silver button, this comparison button, two windows pops up, and what I have here, it's measurement 1 and measurement 2. If I click on this one, I can switch between them, but it's already nicely preset by default, okay? For the point cloud, we are using level of details. This helps you if you have a slow internet connection and in case you have huge point clouds. So based on analytics, some of users uploaded point cloud like 25 gigabyte of data with billion of points. And actually the browser can handle this one because we have level of detail inside, okay? And so you can see on the left side my first measurements where there was just a grass, and then on the right one you can see here already extracted material, and here this is my slider. So if I move right, you will see most of the window on my first measurement. If I click on a slider and move to the left, you can see my second measurement. And right now you're looking at point cloud. If I turn the layer icon here, I can preset again all the data I would like to see it. So let's turn point cloud off, go to mesh, and turn off the textured full 3D mesh on, and the same, and close the layer, open the
And you
layer
can
on the
also
right side.
compare mesh to point cloud, right?
Exactly, not a
If you
problem.
would
So
want.
yes, any 3D data you can compare it. So let's do the comparison now between two textured 3D meshes. And here we can nicely see, so let's move it like so. On the left side, we have a grass area. On the right side, extracted construction site. Okay, so this is it. Then
Very nice.
we have also this regular grid mesh, because you know from the 3D survey, the regular grid mesh is the surface based on which we calculate out the volume, and the less you have these options here. And the same it goes with the 2D data. Okay, if you have an orthophoto, so easily you can do before and after. Matija already shows you this one, so like that.
Oh,
Before,
nice
after,
example.
and so on. Okay, then here is another trick also, which is in some case also interesting. So let me switch again to the same data types. So 3D mesh, beside the timeline comparison view, we have a split view. So if I click this button up, you actually see two models from the same perspective. Okay, so maybe because it's not such an interesting area, but let's say we are focusing on this part. Okay, you see there is no material, here is material. Okay, so beside the timeline view you also have a split view. Okay, that's everything from my side for this example. Matija, would you like to add something or continue?
Oh, it's a great example. Also nice greens, not just construction
Mm,
site and asphalt.
yeah,
So
very good.
very nice
Okay,
looking stuff.
okay,
Uh, okay, so I think we can jump back in the presentation.
okay. Feel free to take your screen. Okay, I
Okay,
can see
we're
your screen.
back. Good. I just have one last minor functionality that we added, because there's one thing you need to know when you use the CAD module that's integrated in cloud. It's meant for one-time use. So if you do some measurements, place some points, anything, these will not last. This will not be saved. So the best thing you can do, you can grab a screenshot, save it to computer, and share it with, or put it in a report or something like that.
Okay, great, Matija, that you mentioned this one. So when you upload the data from 3Dsurvey desktop software to cloud, if you upload the 3D lines, 3D points, areas, or anything like that, this stays for as long you don't delete it in 3Dsurvey cloud. But when you measure with the measurement tools in a cloud, and do some quick sketches or add some annotations, for now this is not staying there. Okay, so when you close down the browser, you lose those data. So don't spend 2 hours on connecting 3D measurements on a cloud. So it's meant like a measurement for investigating in a real time, and that's it. Okay, for now. Maybe in future we extend this feature and we will add the option to save these measurements and so on. But for now, just to let you know, if you need something that permanently stays on your project, draw in 3Dsurvey CAD desktop and upload this CAD to cloud, and it will stay there. Okay, and if you draw it in cloud, it's going to be deleted after you close the browser. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So now I would just like to mention again that it's not just a viewer. It's also a project management tool, which we already mentioned, where you can have a timeline view. And if your project has more surveys, it will get extended for the duration of your surveys. And there's a map view. And okay, this is the last slide that we have. The last topic, because we are still in beta, we are aware that we have a lot of work to do, and I just wanted to give you a quick snapshot of the tasks we're working on. You can see here it says cloud, and it goes up to 19. We're actively working on multiple tasks, how to improve this cloud for you, and I think it will be even better in the future. And we have prepared one last question for you, so you can have a bit of saying in that. And if you're ready, I can roll out this poll. So the question is, what feature would you like us to develop next or include in the next version of 3Dsurvey Cloud? Here are your options. Take your time, go through them, or if you already know the answer, go for it.
The last option is also other. So because this platform doesn't offer you to write something in the quick poll, so feel free to write your suggestions already in chat box or in question box, so that we can then later on save them and of course try to implement them also in a 3Dsurvey cloud in the future steps. And again, the ones who already voted, don't forget to set your questions if you have some in question box. We are shortly closing up with the webinar and going to the question and answer part. So feel free to write your questions that we can answer them one by one.
Okay, 52% of you voted. I give you a few more seconds, then we close up the vote. Okay, 54. Anyone else? Last chance? Yeah. Nice. Still coming. All right. 3, 2, 1, and we're done. So, are we curious about results? Here they are. 16% of you would like to see a mesh improvement. So we are thinking about this one. It would be nice to implement level of detail that would load progressively. So this is also one of the problematic things that can stall your browser and slow it down. And after we implement this, it should be much less problematic. And there's another one we expected. 38 of you would like to see profile lines and volume.
Very good, very good. I can just say you that these are the next two. First one in a row, we would like to add them. So fully agree with you. So this will be added in the near future. Absolutely.
Yeah, great. So yeah, more functionalities, typical for 3Dsurvey users. That's great to hear. And then 11, ability to add permanent annotations and comments. That's also what we heard before. 30% data download. So some people were asking to download the 3D models, point clouds, well, projects. Anyhow, yes, it's also on our minds. You could see this one in the future. And 5% of you will have a discussion very soon. Marko, do you think we're ready to jump onto the questions?
Yes, I think we covered nicely the complete topic. If there are some additional, we have already, I think, 5 questions or something like that, and we are ready to start answering them. And yes, if we didn't cover something with this one, feel free to write no your questions. Now is the right time. Before we go to this question, I would just like to mention again, so it's an exciting topic for us. It's not just a sharing platform. Again, it's also a project management tool. So the idea is that you will upload all your projects in cloud, even if you just upload the small part of the project, which doesn't take 10 gigas of space. So you can just upload it orthophoto, and this means you will have this location on your map view, and you probably had scenarios when you were searching for project in folders and computer on disk and so on, and you didn't found it. So with 3Dsurvey Cloud, you could also easily find your project just based on the location, as you saw from Matija presentation, how it's nicely everything organized, also based on timeline view. So it's kind of a powerful tool which has a lot additional options available. So sharing the results, managing your projects the easiest way, so should be fine. So yes, we are ready for questions. We will answer them. In meantime, I'm answering these questions. I would also ask you, please write in chat box if you were able to open the project which was shared via chat, and if everything works fine. So just one word, work it, or I have issues or something like that. So feel free to write also this in the chat. But yes, if we move to questions, the first oh yeah.
I can read them and you can answer if you
Okay,
want to
very
share
good.
the load.
help me out, Matija. Yes, please.
Okay, so the first one is, do you solve the stereographic projection when uploading cloud?
Thank you, Matija. First one, tricky questions already for hard start. So not yet, because there is some issues with the browser. So we are still we still have this one in to-do list. We will solve this out to support it. There are some specific coordinate systems that use specific stereographic projection, which is not covered with our engine, and we need to solve this out. So it's still on to-do list. In case you have this issue, what you can do, you can upload your data as a local, so as a local coordinate system, and then you upload them into the cloud. Okay, so this should work in the meantime. It's not the most elegant way, but this is the way how to solve it. And then when this is confirmed, and we will let you know that this one works and everything's fine.
We have an interesting question following up. Is there any possibility that we can take a certificate of attendance or a confirmation that we were present for this webinar?
Yes, so all the webinar attendees, they get a certificate of the webinar. So you should get this certificate directly on your email with the one you are registered on this webinar. And in case you don't get it, just let us know, but should be on your email.
Okay, then there's a question from B. What I miss in the cloud version so far is the possibility to measure volume or even measure it between different models. Is the solution planned for this, and if so, when?
Okay, cool. So as we already, yes, so we know what's the answer. So already know, we know that we will in first stage add support to upload the profile lines and volume results from the 3D survey. So this is the first step, the first stage. So you calculate the results in 3D survey and upload those results in cloud to share the results, that they can view the data, they can view the surfaces which were used for the calculation in a 3D survey cloud in the next step. And this will be done with the new cloud release, which is planned in October actually. And the next thing we will support basic measurements of the volume calculation in cloud, but nevertheless, I would like to mention here, if you like to be really precise to calculate the volumes, we suggest you to do this in a desktop version where you have the complete flexibility and complete control over the surface which are used for volume calculation. In cloud, you will be able to calculate surfaces, but I would say this is kind of a basic estimation of calculation, not professional way actually, because it's just harder to do it in a cloud so deep, like in comparison to 3D survey desktop. Yes. Okay.
So then we have Josip, who does not have the compare option. Does this option appear only when we have multiple models?
Exactly, Josip. And hi, Josip. Great to have you on webinar. Yes, so the timeline comparison icon pops up just in case you have two sites per project, because other way you cannot compare it. So you're not comparing two projects, you compare two sites actually, okay? So you need to have two sites at least for a project, and then you can do the comparison.
Yeah, give it a try. Then we have Chris. One feature to add to the cloud is heat map feature. Chris, I'm not clear here. Is it heat map or height map?
I think it's mentioned like a height map in 3D survey, so it's just a different view styles where you can more clearly see the height difference of a DSM or a regular grid mesh. So yes, Chris, this is already in to-do list, so additional view styles similar to 3D survey features, and it will be covered, yes.
And then we have Bill. Will you update the regular software with the new feature? The regular software with the new feature?
Okay, Bill, not sure we understand this question 100%. If you can write us something in addition, we can definitely try to answer it. Okay, so feel free just to set the question again.
But if it's meant as a 3Dsurvey Cloud will be supported for older versions prior to 2.18.
Yeah, for now, what's needed, so you need to have a valid version with upgrade and support or a subscription of a 3Dsurvey, and it works. And as long you have this upgrade and support valid, you also have free of charge the cloud storage for 75 gigabyte of data. Okay. So if this was the question, I would continue and see if Bill write us additional questions to this one.
Okay, and then we have Anatoly. He has problems with registration on your site, on our site. So best give us an email to support.
That's it. And maybe Matija, if you prepare it, so we have a nice YouTube video how to solve the registration issue. Maybe so we have 4 videos about the cloud or something like that, which could help you definitely with the cloud workflow. So you probably will find the answer in this part. So if you have a single license, so the perpetual license or subscription license, we should immediately read the right license type and connect you directly to the right cloud account. Where we had some issues is because some of you are already beta testers of a 3Dsurvey, and in meantime you had the tester license and then moved to your perpetual license, and in this case there were some tricky scenarios by logging in. But my suggestion is just go to 3Dsurvey webpage, log in, find your perpetual license, use this perpetual license and use the same login, so username and password for the cloud, and should work seamlessly. And nevertheless, feel free to contact support if you have issues.
I answered the wrong person, but I will give you in the chat the YouTube link that probably solves this problem. This is the troubleshooting with cloud YouTube video. We have, as Marko mentioned, 3 of those available, and one's for navigation, and the third one is for sharing. They all summarize in a quick way what we have gone over today. So if you liked that and perhaps would like to refresh your memory or give it a further look, I gave you 3 links in the chat. Go check that out, and I hope, Anatoly, that saves your problem. Okay. Last chance for anybody else to give us a question. Marko, do we want to add something more?
I think that's it. We are right in the time, 1 hour. So okay, last question. Okay.
Okay, someone gave us a translate.
Okay.
Okay, I can answer this one. So
so Google Translate, very nice. Yes, in Slovenian language question, interesting. So hand scan 3D alive.
Yeah, I can answer this in short, and maybe later we can go over it over email.
Okay.
The Suteska Castle project was made by the exterior was mapped with Mavic 3 Enterprise, and the interior parts were mapped with videogrammetry with cell phone. We also tried to fly a drone through a narrow window in that castle tower, and while maneuvering that drone inside that.
I wouldn't say we, I would say you. So
You got me there, yeah. uh, um, and when I was maneuvering that drone inside that tower, I hit some wine or something hanging from the ceiling, and the drone crashed. So it was a hard one to get that interior because we had to climb in there, save the drone, and do the videogrammetry.
Yeah,
So
but
not
yes,
easy.
so to get the detail model, we actually use the drone imagery from outside and from interior. Matija did a video with the phone, so this is also coming in a very, very short future. So 3D survey with the grammetry, and then we just merge those data together. But nevertheless, if you have a SLAM or any other scanner and things like that, as you already know, you can join all those data in 3D survey. With the 2.80 version, we have also a line 2 feature, which merge those data together nicely based on identical points. And you can use the power of this technology. So, and how you connect these models together is actually you first do the point cloud from the drone, then you do the point cloud from the videogrammetry, and you try to find at least 3 identical points. Okay, I think, Matija, do we have a showcase for the Grazie
Uh,
Tesla?
yeah, give me a
Okay,
second to
so
try.
I think on the web page we also have a showcase where is everything more or less nicely
Exactly.
described, and you can see this also.
And yes, we also did use the control points. Yeah, we
Exactly.
used a
Multiple
lot of them.
control points
Yeah.
exactly to position also those scans on the right position. Okay, not to be too long, so thank you for joining us for this webinar. Hopefully it was interesting for you. We plan another webinar next month. So our idea is one webinar per month. So check your emails with news and so on. If you have some questions, some support questions, feel free to contact us on support@3dsurvey.si or any other channel. We are available for you. Thank you for helping us improving this product more and more. As you can see, it's running nicely with all these things which are attaching to the main version. And from my side, I would say thank you for everything. Thank you for participating. And Matija, feel free.
Yeah. You made quite the nice introduction. I agree. It's progressing nicely. And once again, as Marko said, we plan our next webinar very soon. And maybe not to give too much away, we plan something big for the near future. So that's all I'll say. Stay tuned. Don't miss it. It'll be something.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
But until then, enjoy. Thanks for coming today, and see you next time.
Happy 3D surveying.
Bye bye.